What do we mean when we talk about aquatic species? I think we majorly have an image problem because most people are talking about the megafauna in this country, about tigers, about rhinos when it comes to biodiversity protection. Basically, we're talking about very small indigenous fish species, and they're very beautiful. Then we talk about crabs and snails, insects, but also some creepy creatures like, for example, blind cave fishes. But I think they are very equally important than the megafauna. And NERAC is not only protecting these species for the sake of protection because they're endemic to the area or because they're highly threatened, some of them already extinct, due to unsustainable fishing practices, mining, climate change, or in the name of climate change, emerging hydropower plants. But our aim is to protect them because those species are interlinked with the people living with aquatic ecosystems. They are forming a part of their diet, they are forming part of their culture. So our slogan is, everybody talks about the tiger, but us.
We see that there is a dearth of application-oriented research. Generally, the northeastern region is a data-starved region. Not too much of information are available in public platform.
When we were implementing the project, because of the position of the landscape, it's not very easy to work in northeastern states.
Northeastern region is one of the most biodiversity-rich regions of India. However, there are several pockets in the northeast where there is a very high amount of degradation of the forests. The aquatic biodiversity of that region is under tremendous threat. As a NERAC project, we have done several initiatives in order to have primary data as well as derived data for the aquatic resources. First is we have done inventorisation of aquatic resources through a cooperation with Zoological Survey of India. ZSI has developed this entire inventory on aquatic resources for the 4 states.
So during this particular project, we have adopted what are the most robust methodologies which are available to document the aquatic biodiversity. Although the project is focused on fishes, but of course, when we talk about fish conservation, we also need to talk about the resources on which fish is feeding on. So for doing that, we have collected data on small organisms which are there in the aquatic ecosystem, and based on that that particular field surveys, we could able to collect data on the invasive species also, how the invasive species are there and how they may be challenged in coming time. Based on this inventory work, we could able to generate information about some of the conservation priority species also, like which are threatened, what are the causes which are threatening the species in this particular ecosystem. Since JEDSI is a national institution, our researchers are sampling in different areas. We realized that let us make a manual which is very best suitable for the northeastern states, and there also the IFB Postdam has significantly contributed with us. They have brought out their German standards and what we have learned in India. So together we have compiled a document which has all sort of gears which are useful for collecting fish species in the northeastern states.
We have had IUCN come into the picture in order to update the red list. We have data on that. We have baseline information on all the project pilots that we did.
Basically, the IUCN Red List answers a very simple question. How likely is a species to be extinct, given the information that we have on its distribution, population, and threats?
And through that process, they jointly came up with so-called KBAs, key biodiversity areas. Because we have done this only with one species, fish species, we call them IFAs, important fish areas. So basically now, every state that we have been working with have 4 to 5 IFAs So they know exactly, okay, in this village, we might have the last fish species available in the region.
International workshop on red listing and conservation assessment of the Himalayan fishes. It's a culmination of two assessments. One is the regional assessment, which is having a different criteria as per the IUCN, and another is a global IUCN assessment.
An interesting part will be to check the information that is there, critically evaluate it, and then agree on what will go into the assessment. A big problem here is that for a lot of the species, we don't really have that information. But at the same time, we should be able to assign some meaningful threat status to them. So we're going to have to really put our heads together and then decide a course of action.
We attempted to do a climate risk assessment for the aquatic resources of the northeastern region. We look into the climate models, we look into the temperature and rainfall patterns. So these kind of information are now available at the district level. So for a reconnaissance for the states, it will be very important because you will know exactly how the temperature and the rainfall patterns are changing, and accordingly look into strategies to adapt to such climate change for the aquatic resources.
The aim of the project was that we integrate the local and indigenous knowledge of the communities and make it available, and how we can integrate it into a management plan. So we had to start from scratch, and we're searching an expert who was able to facilitate that method. And we found that there are barely any NGOs or researchers in the region who have the method, who actually know how to do it. So we invited Dr. Regina Puri from the University of Kent, who's working for the Center for Bicultural Diversity, and we're testing how to do it. And so he basically came up with methods like pile sorting and free listing, etc., uniquely for aquatic resources. And through him, he developed an 11 steps methods manual on how to document traditional knowledge.
Through our collaboration with GIZ is the introduction of a multidisciplinary course on traditional knowledge, followed by the writing of the manual, followed by testing of the manual. After that only we introduce the new course in the college.
The association of Martin Luther Christian University with GIZ goes way back. We deal a lot with traditional ecosystem and we talk about traditional knowledge, indigenous knowledge. So I think that's where we actually clicked. There was this opportunity of learning not just for us as a colleague here, but also for our students.
So we tried different organizations, different human and financial input. How does this manual actually work on ground and how to improve it after the learnings? And through this process, now we have come up with this methods manual, which will be launched on Atingi, the e-learning platform, and made accessible. Usually 50 up to 100 participants joined across the region, also outside India, and we're learning from the topic. We're able to ask questions and connect to other experts around the globe.
This research facilitates the implementation. The groundwork gives you, the ground evidences for revising policies, so that you have enhanced policies that take into account all the experiences gained, all the research findings, etc. So we have, I think the biggest achievement for us, I would say, is that we have brought these three together in a connect.